Good morning, children. Let's continue our first chapter, Nutrition in Plants. Till now, we have studied what are nutrients, what is nutrition, and different modes of nutrition in which we are done with autotrophic nutrition. Now, let's quickly revise the process of photosynthesis. To begin with, let's say I have a tree here, and these are roots embedded in soil. Roots will absorb water and different minerals from soil. So, water and minerals transport up to the leaves. Since photosynthesis occurs in leaves, it takes carbon dioxide from air through tiny pores, that is stomata. These stomata are covered by outer layer known as guard cells. Leaves, as we can see, are of green color because of the presence of green color pigment chlorophyll. It helps the leaf to capture sunlight. During photosynthesis, green plant releases oxygen. Since the synthesis of food occurs in the presence of sunlight, it is called photosynthesis. As photo means light and synthesis means to combine. We can conclude photosynthesis as solar energy is captured by the leaves and stored in the plant in the form of food, that is, carbohydrates. Can you imagine Earth in the absence of photosynthesis? In the absence of photosynthesis, there would be no food for plants and the plant will eventually die. Survival of almost all living organisms directly or indirectly depends on the food made by plants and oxygen released during photosynthesis. Therefore, in the absence of photosynthesis, life would be impossible on Earth. We can represent the process of photosynthesis in an equation as well. Carbon dioxide combines with water in presence of sunlight and chlorophyll gives out carbohydrate plus oxygen. The carbohydrate will ultimately get converted into starch. We all have seen leaves other than green color. They also have chlorophyll, but the large amount of red, brown and other pigments mask the green color. Therefore, photosynthesis takes place in these leaves also. You often see slimy green patches in ponds or in stagnant water bodies. These are generally formed by the growth of organism called algae. Can you guess why algae are green in color? Yes, algae contain green color pigment, that is chlorophyll. And chlorophyll helps algae to prepare their own food by the process of photosynthesis. You have just learned that plants synthesize carbohydrates through photosynthesis. The carbohydrates are carbon, hydrogen and oxygen. They use to synthesize other components of food rich of carbon, hydrogen and oxygen. But proteins are nitrogenous, that is, they contain nitrogen. And from where does the plant obtain nitrogen? Yes, just recall that nitrogen is present in abundance in gaseous form in the air. However, plants cannot absorb nitrogen in this form. Soil has certain bacteria such as Rhizobium that convert gaseous nitrogen into a usable form and release it into the soil. These soluble forms are absorbed by the plants along with water. Also, you might have seen farmers adding fertilizers rich in nitrogen to the soil. In this way, the plants fulfill their requirement of nitrogen and can synthesize food other than carbohydrates, that is, proteins and fats. Some plants doesn't have chlorophyll. They cannot synthesize their own food. Then, how do they survive? And from where do they derive their nutrition? These plants use another mode of nutrition, that is, heterotrophic nutrition. To understand, let's split the term heterotrophic. Here, hetero means other and trophic means nourishment. Therefore, heterotrophic nutrition is the one in which organisms take in ready-made food prepared by the plants. For example, cuscuta plant. This is cuscuta or amarbeal plant. It doesn't have chlorophyll. It takes ready-made food from the plant on which it is climbing. Do you see yellow tubular structures of cuscuta plant twining around the stem and branches of a tree? The plant on which it climbs is host. And since the cuscuta plant deprives the host of valuable nutrients, it is called as parasite. Have you ever seen or heard of plants that eat animals? Yes, they are known as insectivorous plants. There are a few plants which can trap insects and digest them. For example, pitcher plant. This pitcher-like structure is the modified part of the leaf. The apex of the leaf forms a lid which can open and close the mouth of the pitcher. Inside the pitcher, there are hairs which are directed downwards. When an insect lands in the pitcher, the lid closes and the trapped insect gets entangled into the hair.